Hi, welcome to route number 31 of my Wainwright challenge. So I'm parked at the top of Hard Knot. It's lunchtime and we're going to try and crack 3 Wainwrights off this afternoon. Been a gale and massive storm this morning, so we're hoping that the wind's going to subdue somewhat. It seems to have stopped raining, so that's a positive. We're going to do Hard Knot, Green Crag and Heart of Fell. Oh, that's the plan. So we'll see how we go. So I've managed to get out the wind. That's the top of Hard Knot Pass. I'm going to head up here, up the side, up to Hard Knot, see if the wind don't blow me over at the top, and return to the pass. Now if everything's okay, then we'll head over there. Heart of Fell. We're going to go around the back of it first. So far quite a good path from the top, very well walked. It's the general direction of the top over there and all the crags. So we'll go and see if we can find the high point. So that looks like it might be the high point over there, getting on the top. Not too far from the road actually. So here we are at the top of Hard Knot. Extremely windy. So now I've got out the wind. That's Heart of Fell over there. The plan is to go round at the underside of Heart of Fell to hit Green Crag at the other side, and then climb back over Heart of Fell and back down to the car. Very, very windy still. So it's been very boggy and squelchy so far. It's definitely a day for gators. So got to this gate. I'm going to cut through the forest now, try and skirt around the underside of Heart of Fell to get to Green Crag. So far it's quite an obvious path going through this forest, or what was a forest. It's been cut down, but there's definitely an obvious path, and every so often there's a stake marker telling you that you're still on track. So we eventually dropped down to this forest track, mainly downhill, very boggy, and we've come to this little right turn here, which I'm going to take, and then I'm going to take a left and skirt the wood. So I'm still actually skirting round the underside. So that's the first view of Green Crag over there in the distance. Just got back onto one of these forest tracks. I'll follow this for a bit before we hang a left. I have to say it feels like I've been skirting the underside of Heart of Fell for an awful long time. Just about to get to a crossroads at the top of this small rise where I go left for Green Fell or Green Crag, retrace our steps, and then we'll go straight up Heart of Fell. That's the plan anyway. So this is the crossroads I've been looking for. That's Green Crag there next. Then we're going up there, Heart of Fell. Better get on with it, running out of daylight. Very likely I'll be with a head torch tonight. So it's a very, very boggy moor that I'm crossing. Seems to be the story of the day. Thank goodness for gators. So we're the underside of Green Crag there. So there we are, that's Green Crag. Bit of a scramble at the top. Just out of the wind here, thank goodness. It's been relenting today. Get to the top, then we've got to head back across this moor. Very boggy. Skirt that forest, and that's Heart of Fell. It might be in darkness by the time we get there. So here we are at the top, Green Crag. So we're heading back towards Heart of Fell, and the plan is to go straight over the top, straight down the other side back to the car. That's the plan. See how much daylight we've got left. So here we are back at the very steep the crossroads where we were earlier, and the very steep climb ahead, so it's quite a distinct path going up. Rises very quickly, as you can see. There's a green crag over there. Making its height very quickly, which is good because I haven't got much daylight. I need to get up to the top quickly. So it's quite steep and scrambly, well, very steep, scrambly, in and out of footpaths, grass, crags. There we go, there's green crag that we've come from. I think I've got about 50 metres of ascent left, so not too far to go now. So, here we are, at the top of Harterfell. There's a fair way to drop yet, but just showing you over there, that's Hard Knot, the first one we did this afternoon. I think it's been a bit of a push trying to get these three in a winter's afternoon, but on our way down now, so hopefully we won't get caught in the dark. So we've picked up a great path coming off the top. It's going to eventually meet up with the path I took earlier today, which skirted around the side of the mountain. So you're getting better view now of Hard Knot. So we're back at the stile that we crossed earlier, back on track. Probably only a quarter of a mile now, if that, to the car. So we managed it in daylight just. Hi, welcome to route number 31 of my Wainwright challenge. Today I parked at Hard Knot's Pass, right at the top, and it's Saturday the 29th of January. So massive storm this morning. It was blowing tents over in the awnings over in the caravan site. Massive rain, gales, trees have been down, roads are closed. It was a biblical morning. So consequently I didn't start till this afternoon while I waited for the weather to calm down. I parked up at the top of Hard Knot Pass in one of the small pull-ins, right near the summit of the pass itself. I have to say Hard Knot was relatively straightforward from where I parked. It's like a stepped climb of probably three significant steps. Relatively steep, and then it'll flatten out into a boggy section, then it'll go again, craggy, then it'll flatten out into be boggy, and then it goes again. Not too far at all from the road, and just retrace your steps back to the cairn at the top of the pass. From there you got to I decided I was going to traverse around the underside of Harterfell. Reasonably good footpath following the fence line. It is so wet and so boggy. Bear in mind we've just had a massive storm, so it is very wet anyway. But I decided that I'd skirt through the woods, and you're descending for ages through the woodland, and it's very wet and very slippy, and it just seemed to take an age before you start to climb back up around the other side of the traverse, and eventually you get onto some forest tracks which relieve from the bog, and you get to like a stile where you've got to turn left for Green Crag or right to go up the steep side of Harterfell. So we turned left, and we had to cross a moor, ever so slightly inclining until you got to the business end of Green Crag, which is a crag, and it is a bit of a scramble. It's quite fun actually. The moor itself was again super boggy. Retrace your steps and back to the fence and the stile where you were maybe an hour or so earlier, and you've got Harterfell. Now Harterfell is the climb of the day, really. It's the high point, and it's also the steepest and the most arduous, I'd say. It's very steep, it's very craggy and rocky path in and out of, when you're in and out of the rocks, every so often you will get onto a grassy patch, which, guess what, it's boggy. But when you get to the top, it's absolutely breathtaking. There's a couple of pinnacles, if you like, at the top that you got to properly climb up to get onto it. Now the wind was that strong, it was actually blowing me off the top. It's ridiculously strong. There are two spot heights marked on the map, so you got to climb to the top of the pinnacle to get to 653, and the trig points up at 649. And then again you've got a massive steep descent, but the descent back to the car isn't craggy at all. It's just grassy and again wet underfoot, boggy in places, lots and lots of different paths going in different directions, actually, like sheep trods. So just be mindful of that, and make sure you keep an eye on where you're heading, because you can see hard knot pretty much all the way down. Now I've been chasing light all day because I started so late. I didn't have any respite at all, so it's 9.5 miles round the route I did, and I didn't stop. I didn't stop for a sandwich. I did have a sandwich, but I carried on walking whilst eating. So I did the circuit in just under 4 hours, and there was 2,500 feet of ascent. So you know, it was a bit of a rush considering the terrain, let's say. But I got back to the car in daylight, so everyone's a winner.